Good morning, Jennifer. How are you?
Here's Reverend Bill with your God Call.
Thomas Edison said, if we did all the things we're capable of, we would astound even ourselves. Which begs the question, what are you hiding? What do you have that you're capable of that would surprise even you to find out that you can do it? Well, that's a gift, God's gift to the world by means of you, and you now have the opportunity to figure out what it is and bring it into the world. Let that light shine.
Take flight into the arms of the night. Sidelines mind the common view. Skies might clear up, silver might be where you want to find it, but there's always something going wrong. Oh, won't you sing along? Well, something in our voices might just matter. So raise them lights above our heads. Let them shine all night. Let them shine. And all the dust, tiny moving matter, smashed together then, bouncing off the other. When it seems to be too much, where's there better ways to be? Neither here nor there, something's got to budge. Other darkness here doesn't need to last. Need to last. Oh, raise them lights high above our heads. We'll let them shine all night. We'll let them shine. One for me, one for you. We'll let them shine all over this deep blue world. Well, we'll ride out the darkness, let the light shine through. Well, there's work to be done, and there's songs to be sung. Let us dance this dance, all the time has come. So raise them lights high above our heads. We'll let them shine all night. We'll let them shine. So raise them lights high above our heads. We'll let them shine all night. We'll let them shine.
Awesome, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ami. And good morning, New Thought, Philadelphia. Here we are on Zoom again. You know the rules. Keep your mic muted except when you're going to be sharing. So it makes it nice and orderly and polite for all of our purposes. Except for now. Go ahead and unmute your microphone so you can repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open myself to love.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself
Open
to
myself
joy.
to joy.
I am a channel for good in the world.
I am a
I am a channel
for
for
good in the world.
I know love is right here, right now.
I know that
I know
love
love
is
is
right
here,
now.
right now.
And so it is.
And so it is.
So it
So it
is.
is. You can exercise your mute button one more time as I remind you that New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. Whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you to our Zoom today, wherever you're heading next, we have been expecting you and we love you. Welcome home. We believe that there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us, and that we each use that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. For short, we like to say your new life begins with a new thought. If you have any electronic devices which are going to be unnecessary or distracting in the next hour or so, go ahead and turn them to shush or to off. They will be there when you get back. The interwebs will continue to operate and the messages will pile up for you. You don't need to put your attention on that as we focus within for now. I am Reverend Bill Marchiony. Our music today is by Ami Yaris, and our practitioner for our celebration is Joe Catanzaro, RSCP, who will begin our celebration, as we begin everything, with a practical prayer. Joe.
Thank you, Bill. Good morning, everyone. I've always liked the imagery of the shamanic or pagan tradition of casting the circle. So imagine, even as we're in our little separate Zoom boxes in gallery view, imagine that we're all connected in a circle, like a string of Christmas lights or a fiber optic cable, creating a network, creating the one. So I call on that power of the one. It is love, it is light, power, intelligence, our source. We're here as little individual points of light, just like that string of Christmas lights, but all connected to one power source. Individual expressions of that love, that power, that intelligence. We're here together to celebrate that source, our truth, our connection. And we create a container, a vessel of that light, of that love, of that power that we fill together with all of the good that each one of us individually can imagine. Peace, love, harmony, abundance, beauty, truth. Let's fill that container by raising our vibration, by generating our intention, by letting our light shine and our love flow, by opening our hearts and our minds to increase the outpouring of all of this good. Just the way small mountain streams trickle down until they converge and fill that rushing river with all of its power. We can do the same thing. Just as the light grows, as more candles are lit, just as the light increases as the sun rises, we generate more and more of that light and love collectively. And that brings more love and more good into our world. So let that container overflow. It fills us, it fills our homes, it fills our communities. It spreads until it covers the entire world. I'm grateful for all of this good, for each one here, for the source of our power. So I claim all of this good for everyone. I allow it and I accept it. And I let my word go to love and law, knowing that it comes back with the answer, yes, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, so this is the reason we do a prayer is because it changes the experience that we're having in our lives. So we get to share our prayer work stories, give voice to those sorts of things. So anybody, you can use your reaction button or wave your hand. And if you'd like to share a little bit about how your cup is filling up. Jesus, I saw you first. And then Annie. You got to unmute, Jesus.
Good morning. Good morning. I just wanted to share my prayer yesterday. I had to pick up somebody in Newtown Square, take them to Newark Airport. I had to pick them up at 6 a.m, but then I had to pick up another client at 8:30 in the morning on 22nd and Locust. My other driver, it was a little challenging for him, so I had to do both trips. And I was thinking how human and possible that I could do this. But it was kind of, my mind was telling me it was like a little impossible. So I made a prayer, and then I went to sleep praying. And when I got up, I knew everything was fine. So my intuition told me get there earlier than 6, see how that goes. So I got there a little early, and I called our client, let her know that I was there. She said, "Okay, I'll be right up." I said, "Well, that's good." So I took her to Newark Airport, but when I got there, I had to use the restroom because it's always good circulation elimination to beneficial for me. So I did that, but that would take a couple of minutes of my time. So when I got going my way back, it was telling me I was getting there a little later, so did another prayer. And when I got to the person's house, it was exactly 8:30. I said, "Oh my God." So that was my prayer.
I love when that happens. I love when that happens. Thank you, Jesus. And in the flow, that perfect elimination circulation. Amen. Annie disguised as NTP.
Morning, everybody. So the first part of my prayer work story is I start nurse practitioner school tomorrow. So I'm really excited about that. Slightly nervous. But everybody kept telling me, I don't know, you're going to have such a hard time finding preceptors. It's going to be so hard. It's going to be so hard. And I just keep myself open to it. There's going to be opportunities. It's going to unfold perfectly. I had a doctor's appointment the other day, and it was a new provider. I never met them before at my neurologist's office. And she's a physician assistant, which I can be with a physician assistant for my practicals. And she was like, she asked me what I do for a living. And then I told her, I'm a nurse, but I got hurt. And she's like, "Oh, you should go to MP school." And I was like, "Well, I'm starting next week." I said, "The only thing I need now is more preceptors." And she said, "Oh, just text me whenever you need. I can make sure that I have all these friends that would be willing to help, and, the office here. So anything you need, let us know." And I just keep remaining open to that. And I can't wait to have all these preceptors and learn something new.
I love when that happens. And by the way, the baton has been passed because last Friday evening, on the meditation, Winnie Musoni was there and wearing her cap and gown and carrying her diploma from Jefferson, because she is now a nurse practitioner. So after a weekend off, you get to continue in the tradition of successful nurse practitioners at New Thought, Philadelphia. Bill, Christine, Joy, and Bobby, whoever is behind that raised hand over there. You got to unmute.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. So, 2 prayer work stories. One, and first of all, congratulations, Annie. That's amazing. That's awesome. One is similar to yours, in different respect, but I have had 2 new medical providers come into my life at the most amazing, perfect timing, and tremendous support where I wasn't feeling like I was getting it. And it's just totally changed the rapidness of my healing. And the other is feeling so much more confident praying with others in classes and particularly Carolyn, because I'm taking the No Nomad, No Lotus class, and my prayer partner is a reverend. And while spiritual treatments don't normally freak me out, it is a little intimidating for me. It was a little intimidating to do a spiritual treatment for a reverend. And so I've been working with Carolyn, and I just want to say thank you. And I'm so much more confident just praying for anybody, no matter if they have initials behind their name or not. And I thank you all for listening.
Beautiful. Thank you, Christine. Linda, and then Carla.
Good morning, everybody. And congratulations to Annie. Good job. I had a fabulous Mother's Day weekend with my daughter last week, and I was flying home from Huntington Beach, or actually Long Beach, on Tuesday. And, uneventful, everything's going along, and we get about, I don't know, I start our descent into Phoenix, and the pilot comes on and says, well, there's a whole bunch of turbulence up ahead, and we're going to ask the cabin crew to sit down now. So I'm like, yeah, no. So I did a practical prayer, and guess what? We didn't have any turbulence. So that's my story. It was great.
I love when that happens.
Yeah, me too.
And Carla's got some announcements for us.
And that I do. Good morning, beautiful people. Congratulations, Annie. Yay. This effervescent information is on our website at newthoughtphilly.org and in our weekly e-newsletter. Please sign up on the website so that we can keep in touch. Twice a day, we have community check-ins and meditation on Zoom. Everyone is welcome. They're awesome, inspiring, fun, and quick. Less than 15 minutes start to finish. We're going to meet in person. The spiritual practices class on Tuesday evenings this summer will be hybrid, with students able to be on Zoom or in person at Exhale Massage and Yoga near the Narberth train station. It runs from June 14th to August 23rd and is a great way to bring more spiritual awareness to this warm and bright time of the year. I took that class a couple of years ago. It's amazing. The Pennsylvania primary election is on Tuesday. Sandy is our faith community captain with faithclimatejusticevoter.org. Again, that's faithclimatejusticevoter.org. And we'll be hosting a voter Q&A this evening at 7 about how civic activities mesh with our spiritual lives. It's in this Zoom room and is open to everyone. Episode 49 of Reverend Bill's Practical Prayer podcast is What is Truth? It's on Apple, Google, Spotify, or Stitcher. You can watch the live stream of the recording session on Monday at 1 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Follow our social media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and join the 959 spiritual adventurers in our group on meetup.com. The Power of 8 Intention Circle meets on Zoom every Monday at 6:30. A new 8-week cycle starts tomorrow. Contact Sandy for information. Yay. And the Women's Circle meets on Zoom on the last Thursday of the month at 7:30 p.m. Again, contact Sandy for information. Yay, Sandy. The Unexpected Income Club is in its final month. Join now to prove prosperity principles. Sign up on the website, say the practical prayer every day, and donate 10% of the extra money that shows up for you. That other 90% is God's gift to you. We are grateful for your tax-deductible donations by PayPal, check, Venmo, Cash App, and now Zelle, pronounced Zelle. Sorry. Thank you to the production team and presenters who make our Zoom celebrations work and have a lot of fun doing it. There's a short technical rehearsal before the celebration on Sunday. To join the team, contact me, Carla Ann. I'll put my info in the chat in just a second. Next Sunday is online, and Breen talks about Will and Grace of God, not the sitcom, and how these ideas fit into New Thought teaching. Live original music by Bernard Sarkisian. Reverend Bill and the practitioners offer professional spiritual coaching and practical prayer by appointment. After the celebration, Joe will be available for a quick miracle in a minute prayer, no charge. And we'll leave the Zoom open so that we can all chat amongst ourselves. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Carla Ann. Thank you so much. I am looking around the Zoom and I'm seeing familiar faces. So as you know, we welcome our newbies with a little blessing. But let us recognize the divinity in ourselves and each other right now. So go ahead, rub your hands together. Feel some warmth come up. Feel the love. Send it out. Share it with the rest of the group, the people who are in the circle of this, and feel it coming back, knowing that you are the bright light of God's love. Thank you so much for shining your light and for sharing your love with us today. And welcome home.
Well, you're on your way up, I know, it's a long way to go, I know, I'm not a going, I know, well, you're gonna look down on me, I know, I'm gonna remember we were together, I know, standing on the same side, I know, helping you across, I know, forget not the hands you held, I know. Feeling better up there, well, I know, with a weird little farewell, I know, well, you act like a lion, I know, don't you stray from the path, I know. So remember your prayers, I know, don't forget what you said, I know, well, you got a good place and you got a good home and a place at the table, baby, I don't know. But I know you know, I know. So remember, I know, well, I know you. So remember who you are, I know. Oh, remember not to hate, I know. Oh, remember gotta love, I know. Oh, remember now and never, well, I know. And I know you know. So remember, I know you. Oh, so remember who you are, I know. Remember not to hate, I know. Remember gotta love, I know. Oh, remember now and never, well, I know. Remember now and never, well, I know. Remember now and never, I know. I know.
Thank you, Ami. Wonderful. Jesus is going to lead us in the flames of faith today from the side of a road somewhere.
From Jersey. Good morning. We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faith come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call Spirit of God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic tradition, honoring the belief and practice of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path, knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Fourth Noble Truth and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all form of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. The reading today comes from The Power of Positive Purpose by J. Scott Neal. I just want to say a couple of words about Dr. Neal. He is a friend of mine, and he passed away last month. So a wonderful light of New Thought has gone out. He started studying New Thought in 1960 or in the early 60s. And his first teacher was Ernest Holmes' brother, Fenwick Holmes. And Jay was wonderful. He had a background in acting. He's a performer, so we had that in common. At annual conferences, he and I would do a comedy routine based on Who's on First from Abbott and Costello that we did together. The last time I saw him in person was at the Anton conference in 2019. And that was when Reverend Dave and I got ordained by Emerson. And usually with an ordination, there's a ceremony and a celebration at home. So Jay and I made plans for him to come out and do the ordination ceremony. And then, of course, in March of 2020, all of our plans started changing, and he's now not going to be able to do that. The reading today is from that book, and Hannah is going to share that with us. And Dr. Neal holds a special place in my heart.
Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, "We are what we think about all day long. Think about what you think about, and remember, only our belief and never appearances bind us, and let the wonderful be your way." Maximum Strength Metaphysics. The only thing a scrambled mind has to look forward to is a question mark. The only thing a clear mind has to look forward to is the best getting better. There are two ways of using the one principle that is within us all. If we have a problem in our life, we can release the choice of doubt, despair, and the consciousness that caused it, and put in its proper place. Through positive choosing and being, we achieve wonderful lifelong development and growth. No one can be a success in the art of living by pretending to be something other than what he or she is. What are we? A mighty moving power of divine mind in action. We are the God-created expression of beingness, forever seeking to increase its fulfillment. Our thinking is the trigger for activating our experience. Therefore, it never pays to ignore the future we are creating in this very moment. If anyone is just floating complacently, accepting a limited experience in happiness, health, and wealth, she can take the reins of positive direction and become maximum strength metaphysics in action. G.W.F. Hegel stated, "Evolution is the never-ending flow of divine consciousness out of itself. All creation, continually moving, never arrives at any state other than that of a ceaseless flow. Infinite greatness always expresses itself through positive self-awareness made manifest in the consciousness of the individual. Positive self-awareness is the cause of a perfect, harmonious, and beautiful life. It heals the darkness and confusions of life. To change our lives for the better, we must change our minds for the better and choose to make it a permanent change." Ernest Holmes stated, "In the healing process, the key is to change your mind and keep it changed. With persistent practice and definite purpose, we can let go and let maximum strength metaphysics assert itself as our way. With positive patience and vigilance, our daily great reward cannot be denied. We are one with the perfect power, health, and life of infinite intelligence. As we become more and more aware of this truth in and as our experience, we discover it is easy to insist this truth be permanent in our lives. We do this by turning away from doubt or fear and walking in the light by informing our minds of the unlimited truth of our being. This is our divine birthright, and as we insistently and eagerly claim it, we unfold as fulfillment everywhere at once.
Who's to say what's impossible? Well, they forget. This world keeps spinning, and with each new day, I can feel a change in everything. And as the surface breaks, reflections fade, but in some ways they remain the same. And as my mind begins to spread its wings, there's no stopping curiosity. I want to turn the whole thing upside down. I'll find the things they say just can't be found. I'll share this love I find with everyone. We'll sing and dance to Mother Nature's song. I don't want this feeling to go away. Who's to say I can't do everything? Well, I try. And as I roll along, I begin to find things aren't always just what they seem. I want to turn the whole thing upside down. I'll find the things they say just can't be found. I'll share this love I find with everyone. We'll sing and dance to Mother Nature's song. This world keeps spinning and there's no time to waste. Well, it all keeps spinning, spinning round and round and upside down. What's to say is impossible and can't be found. I don't want this feeling to go away. I don't want this feeling to go away. I don't want this feeling to go away.
So much, Ami. Thank you so much. All right, quick question. It's like a survey question I'm going to ask you guys. On a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you care about the gluteus medius muscle?
A lot.
So the response that's going to come back will be anywhere from, well, I didn't really care about it at all, to I'm sure by the time we get to the end of this, it's going to be important. So by way of a little story, the gluteus medius is one of our butt muscles. And the one that gets the most fame and notoriety is the largest muscle in our body, which is the maximus, which is the one that pulls our leg backward. And there's another one in the front called the quadricep that pulls our legs forward. And getting those to work helps us move forward in life. And that is a wonderful, happy, healthy thing. And when we run or when we walk or when we do our usual perambulation, we're using the gluteus maximus a lot, and we're using the quadriceps a lot. And the other muscles, the gluteus medius is actually used for pulling the leg to the side. So, and there's not a whole lot of need for us to step to the side in many cases. A bunch of years ago, I was on a ski trip with my brother, and we're in a situation where we were going back to the base lodge, and I had to sidestep up and to the left. And there was this interesting popping in my hip. It's like, what is that about? And it's just like I would step and I'd go pop and would feel, it wasn't tremendously uncomfortable, but I would feel it. It's like, well, I wonder what that is. And of course, I sprang into action and ignored it until the same ski trip the following year where the same thing happened again. my hip is popping up. Well, that's just interesting. And every once in a while, I would have some pain on that side of my body, but I didn't necessarily connect the two of them together. And then the same thing happened in 2020, the last ski trip before the pandemic closed in. And this time it kind of stuck around a little bit. It was achy. So I set about having the chiropractor try and help me identify what the problem was, and he was not particularly helpful. And then I saw a friend of mine who's a physical therapist, and she tried narrowing it down, but it was all kind of hit or miss. And as I tell you this story about my gluteus medius, you're thinking, does this have anything to do with New Thought? Is this a spiritual story at all? And it is. The talk is about flex your spiritual muscle. And the idea is that our spiritual practice and our spirituality is a muscle, just like the physical muscles in our body. And when we take care of them, they will carry us very nicely and comfortably through our life. And when we don't, then other things will happen. So with that as the warning, I'll tell you a little bit more of the story, which involved me having it bother me periodically. So last November, I went to a sports medicine doctor. And he diagnosed it as an incredibly weak gluteus medius muscle, which he did by having me lie down on the table on my side and try and lift my leg up. And I could, and then he could push it down with one finger. Whereas if I rolled on my back a little bit and used my quadricep, there was no way he was going to push my leg down. So, all right, there was something out of balance there. And he gave me some exercises to try. And I dutifully went home and did them every once in a while. And it started to hurt. So it's like, oh, I need different exercises for this. And then I realized on one of the exercises or one of the meditations in the afternoon that I know a physical therapist. So Hannah is walking home from work, and she's, walking down the levee in New Orleans on her way from work to home. And I say, what exercises do you know for the gluteus medius? Because she's a wonderful physical therapist. She trained for that. She's doing that. That's her job. That's her work. And she was very thoughtful and gave me a good answer. I didn't ask the right question. The right question would be, what's a good gluteus medius exercise for me? Because she gave me a range of them. And upon doing her exercise, it turns out the one that she gave me was a little less strenuous than the one that the doctor had given me, but that's the one that was overdoing it for me. So I was already overstressed, and I tried some more, and time passes, the earth cools, and I wound up with a cane. Now, with ambulatory issues, you kind of know that things have come to a head when there's a cane involved. So, okay, wheelchair is worse or more significant, but the cane is something there. So it was indicating that something needed to change. Well, it didn't need to change. I could continue to be in agony and not be able to walk my dog. That didn't seem like a good alternative. So what I did was I asked the right question. And that was a matter of getting a local physical therapist who could actually work on me and work with me and give me some exercises. And so I've been seeing the physical therapist for a couple of weeks now. And she's right around the corner, and she's wonderful. And the exercise that she started me with is so much milder than any of the ones that, one of the ones that Hannah gave me, but it seemed so simple because I was already doing these other things. And I now progressed to the one that Hannah did give me. And eventually I'll strengthen up to the point where I can do the other one. But it's about asking the right question. And it's about building up that muscle and allowing ourselves to get stronger and stronger. Because a couple of weeks ago, I had a cane. And last week, I loaned the cane to my son-in-law because he did something to his hip. So I don't need the cane anymore. The tools are still available. The resources are still available, but I don't need that right now. To the point where Sandy and I got to go for a walk in the woods this week together. And, I was aware that my hip was a little bit sensitive, but it wasn't debilitating the way that it had been previously. So it's about understanding the situation that we're in, understanding the circumstance that we're in, and what can I do to strengthen myself, to move myself forward through this. You guys are familiar with Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. It has what she refers to as the list, which is all of the parts of our physicality that can cause us concern and what that might mean. Hip problems, fear of going forward in major decisions, nothing to move forward to, or carries the body in perfect balance. It's the major thrust in moving forward. And in both of those, one's for hip problems, the other one's for hips. I am in perfect balance. I move forward in life with ease and with joy at every age. The other one is hip, hip, hooray. There is joy in every day. I am balanced and free. Hip, hip, hooray. Thank you, Louise. A little pun there. That was perfect. That was perfect. It's about asking the right questions. It's about getting the insight into the circumstance and the situation, the way it exists for us. Jo Catanzaro is a wonderful practitioner. She's also an amazingly skilled nurse. And so she has some doctor jokes, as I'm sure all nurses have. And this one has stuck with me. The first question is, or the first riddle is, how do you hide something from a surgeon? And the answer is, you write it down in the chart, you know. And the other one is, how do you hide something from an internal medicine doctor? And the answer is, you cover it up with gauze. And those are funny and a little bit true. And they're a reminder that in all of our experiences, all of our situations, there is the possibility of hiding something, and it works differently for everybody. So how do you hide something from your spiritual growth? Yes, I am looping this back around to our spiritual growth. How do you hide something from your spiritual growth and development and unfoldment? Well, you blame it on something that happened in the past or somebody else, and then you build up a resentment. And that's the way that we keep ourselves from growing spiritually. And the process that I'm describing is, of course, forgiveness. We get to acknowledge, yes, this thing happened. This is the circumstance, the situation that I dealt with. And it sucked. It was painful. It was unpleasant. And it's not a defining factor in my life anymore. I'm no longer going to let that be a defining factor in my life. Now, whoever did that horrible thing to me, they're still out there. They still did that. They still own it. But I'm not going to have to carry around the resentment about that. Resentment has been described as drinking poison and hoping the other person will die. So, and when you put it that way, it's like, well, that's not going to work. And of course, it's true. That's not going to work. So the way to flex your spiritual muscles and the way to grow is to practice and practice, practice, practice. There's another section in J. Scott Neal's book. When we choose to flex our spiritual muscles, we raise our consciousness to a more prestigious level of awareness. Positive drive, ambition, and demand to be the best of ourselves in action becomes our norm as we make sure we are headed in the right direction within our hearts, minds, bodies, and world. In return, the world around us begins to give affirmative support that is truly unparalleled in our own personal history. The reason that we want to do the spiritual practice is because we are not doing this ourselves. We are in partnership with the infinite. That infinite creative power that creates everything has created each of us. And it is ready to create something new and spectacular and wonderful with sweetness and richness and power and strength and comfort and hip, hip, hooray for each of us. And the way that we move into that new experience of a deeper awareness of our spiritual truth, of a greater spiritual strength, of being able to co-create our lives with that infinite creative power that creates everything, is to do it. It's practice. So we've got that spiritual practices class that's coming up starting next month. It's going to be a summertime thing. It is, we're going to go out of our way to make it an easy class. So there's not going to be huge amounts of reading. It's going to be from Ram Dass's book, Journey of Awakening, which is a wonderful book, which is kind of the different meditative and spiritual practices we can be involved in. And we're going to layer in probably the loveliest book that Ernest Holmes wrote, which is this thing called You, which is just easy to read and positive and uplifting. And there's none of that torturous involution, evolution sort of thing that the practitioner students are saying, are you going to put that on the test? So it's got none of the difficult, challenging parts. It's the uplifting part of New Thought. So I strongly encourage you to get involved in the class. And our spiritual practices, there's just a huge range of practices that we have. Obviously, practical prayer is a big one. Meditation is another one that comes up a lot. mindfulness, which is the ability to do a meditation when you're doing something else. Yoga is a physical practice that's based on mindfulness and being connected with our breath. So is walking in nature and just observing what's going on. Visioning, life visioning is a spiritual practice. And they all work, and they all work differently, and we all engage differently with each of them. Chanting is another one. The Sufis like to dance and dance into spirituality. There's all sorts of different ways to do this. Journaling, forgiveness practices. Some of them seem joyous and effervescent, and some of them seem challenging and difficult. And the idea is to get into that flow of what is it that's right for me as I begin to flex my spiritual muscles. So if you've been involved at any point in an athletic or a physical practice, you know that the first workout that you do when you're beginning is awkward and uncomfortable and doesn't last very long, and sometimes involves much more sweat than you thought was going to be required of the circumstance. And what happens later is growth, because when we're working out, when we're doing that yoga practice, when we're walking on a regular basis, we build up our stamina, we build up our endurance, our ability to do that aerobic or that strength activity. And then the subsequent workouts become easier, or the opportunity for us to be even more strenuous than we could have been that first time out. Because, as you guys know, I do a regular yoga practice, including on Sunday mornings. And if I had done my yoga practice that I did this morning, when I was first starting out in yoga, I would have spent the next week bathing myself in icy hot and saying oi and looking for the aspirin. As it is, I feel good because I'm in the groove. I'm in that place. I'm in alignment with what's going on. And you can do the same thing in your physical practice and in your spiritual practice. As I often say, practice makes practiced. And when the requirement comes along to be able to take something into prayer, when there's something that grabs your attention, it's an emergency, it's a crisis, it's somebody who's just, got bad news. Having that spiritual muscle memory lets you return to the awareness of spirit that much more quickly, to be aware that this is love unfolding, even though it doesn't look that way right now, and to be in that flow and in that groove. So that's the invitation today, is to get your spiritual muscle groove on, flex your spiritual muscles, strengthen yourself up a little bit, practice, 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 and reap the rewards, because it's a joyous new opportunity at hand for you, putting down what's not working and taking in something great. And you deserve it. You are wonderful. And so it is.
Olam chesed yivanei, Olam chesed yivanei, Olam chesed yivanei. Yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Oh, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Oh, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. And I will build this world from love. Yada die die die, yada die die die. And you must build this world from love. Yada die die die, yada die die die. And if we build this world from love, yada die die die, yada die die die. And God will build this world from love. Yada die die die, yada die die die. Olam chesed yibanei. Yada die die die, yada die die die. Olam chesed yibanei. Yada die die die, yada die die die. Yada die die die, yada die die die. Oh, yada die die die, yada die die die.
Thank you, Avi. So, as Reverend Bill was talking, it occurred to me that a lot of times when you have to do some sort of muscle physical exercise, they tell you to breathe into it. Or if you're uncomfortable, you're instructed to breathe into it, because taking that breath helps to not just relax your muscles, but it changes the way your nervous system works as well. And then that kind of segued into spiritual practices, because breath work is a major component of many spiritual practices, and could even be all on its own. So I thought as we meditated, we could really focus on that breathing. It's so basic, and yet we take it for granted and we ignore it a lot. So let's get ready for some meditation. Get comfortable in your chair. You can get your feet flat on the floor. Feel supported. Just find a position of comfort. And just do a body scan and see if you can notice which muscles are tightest or might be a little more uncomfortable. We're going to try to unknot and relax those muscles with some deep breaths. First, to get centered, let's take a series of 3 slow, deep breaths. So you can close your eyes, you can go into a soft focus, whatever helps you the most, and take that first slow, deep breath. Deep breath in, hold it at the top, and release. Feel that loosening and that relaxation. Once more, deep breath in, hold it at the top, and release. And again, deep breath in, hold it at the top, and release. What is it that we want to find or uncover? Could be something in the body, something in our spirit. See if you can locate that gluteus medius muscle that we can't seem to locate. Could be the same issue that's just creating the tension spiritually. And what practice could we use? What spiritual practice could we use? And then just breathe at your own pace. And watch, focus on your breath. Sensation as it comes in, sensation of filling, and the sensation of relaxation as you exhale. Just breathe and notice. Breathe. And just watch your breath. See what comes up. See what's revealed.
As we commune with our breathing, it's easy to let go and let Spirit breathe us instead of being intentional about our breathing. We get to be participants in this exercise, this activity of life. Instead of calling all the shots and specifying the details, we get to open ourselves up to sweetness, to richness, to fullness, and allow and invite that one infinite creative power that creates everything, that has created everything, that continues to create everything, to allow and invite and make room for that one to create something new and wonderful by means of us. That divine creative power is indwelling. It is the center and circumference of everything that we are, of everything that is everywhere. It includes us. We are that divine power and presence right here and right now, opening ourselves up to newness, to sweetness, to richness, to fullness, to good, in whatever way we describe it. And that creative power that creates everything is creating this newness for us right now. This is unfolding right now. And it continues to unfold. It continues to reveal itself. It continues to bring more and more and more of what we experience as good into our lives, into our relationships, into our families, into our friendships, into our neighborhoods, our workplaces, and our world. This is good unfolding. I'm so grateful for it. I'm grateful for the wonderful way that this is happening for each of us individually and all of us together. I'm grateful for the good, for the love unfolding. I'm grateful for the joyous stories that are just a breath away. And so with gratitude for this good, I speak this word and I release it into that creative law that has created everything. And I set it loose to create this newness for us. And with this feeling of thanks, I speak this word, I let it be, and I know it's so. And so it is. Amen. Take another deep breath in. Allow your awareness to come back into the world around you as Ami does another song.
Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They sliver while they pass, they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Jageru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. The images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes that call on me across the universe. Thoughts meander like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Jageru Deva. Oh, nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Sounds of laughter, shades of earth are ringing through my open ears, inciting and inviting me. Limitless, undying love which shines around me like a million suns calls me across the universe. Jageru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world. Oh, nothing's gonna change my world. Oh, nothing's gonna change my world. Oh, nothing's gonna change my world. Jageru Deva. Jageru Deva. Jageru Deva.
Thank you, Ami. Thank you. So this is a chance that we have to give words to whatever has come up for us so far today in the celebration. So if you have something that you'd like to share with the group, go ahead and wave your hand, or you can use the reaction button to do that. I'll play the inspiration that I got. 2 experiences with computers this morning. Dina's teaching a childbirth class, and her computer was doing all sorts of wacky things. And I said, "When's the last time you restarted?" She said, "I restarted yesterday." I said, "Do it again." She said, "Really? I did a restart yesterday so I wouldn't have these problems." I said, nobody ever complains that they restarted their computer too often. And of course, it fixed the issue. And as we're listening to Ami, I'm just delighted that when we get to the end of the song, the sound issues clear up. Because, yeah, that's what I was looking for. That's the reminder there. And, who knows if restarting is going to do that as well. Sandy.
I'm inspired as usual from our wonderful service. And I wanted to share, we're talking about spiritual practices, and I'm taking the forgiveness class. And it's very, very powerful. And my practice has been forgiveness. And in 2012, right after my mother died, I started getting these canker sores in my mouth. And Louisa Hay, who most of you know, Louisa Hay, metaphysical equivalence, says that that's festering words held back by the lips. So I've been dealing with that for a while. And this forgiveness work is all about a softening and an opening and an allowing. And it's exactly what I need, and I'm so grateful for it. And I don't know whether you guys heard the news last night, but there was a tragedy that happened in Buffalo, New York. And it really riled me, really got me upset. And I was sitting in meditation this morning, and my immediate thought was retaliation. I wanted to retaliate against the person who did this crime, this horrible crime. And I could feel the tension in my body. And I just remembered my practice of letting go and forgiveness, and started picturing just love encircling that person. And I can't tell you what shifted inside my body. I just felt completely, completely different. And I just knew that that is my practice. That is so important for me. So I just needed to share that and say it out loud.
Thank you, Sandy. Yeah. And deep breath in. Carly-Ann?
Hi. So first off, Rev, sorry for your loss, the loss of your friend. And thank you for that reading. It was amazing. And Ami, you delight me, and that is the word, every time I hear you. And then with your little tiny person making an appearance, it made it even better. So thank you. And not to echo Sandy, but I'm also in the No Mud, No Lotus class. And we've had 2 of 6. And as you all know, and I might have even shared a little of this last week, I've had this challenge with my boss. When we had our one-to-one on Wednesday, it was remarkable. She said something, and I felt myself start to bristle. And then I remembered my class, and my reaction was different. And it changed the texture of the meeting. And she did something amazing. She's not the best manager, but she does other things that are really excellent. And I mentioned one of them, and I congratulated her for her. I congratulated her for it. And that also made the meeting much, much better, and my experience much, much better. And what I was able to do afterwards, much, much better. And I am so grateful. And then last thing I'll say is, I love that spiritual practice class. And there was a way that we came back from break that has become one of my spiritual practices. And it's this gratitude thing. I call it the prayer chant. And it's just wonderful. And I've had it for the 2 years, since I've taken the class, and I do it most mornings. And it's just, I love this. I love this teaching. I love all of you. And you added richness to my life that I can't even put into words. And that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you so much. And Linda, before Carla speaks again.
Well, I just wanted to say, I want to second Carla's praise on Avi. I agree. Always enjoy you very much. Bill, great talk. It made a lot of sense. And then when Joe went into meditation, and I'm quite a big fan of Joe's meditations anyway. And, but you know what really hit me is the breathe into it. I thought, I mean, I know I do that in exercise class and stuff, but it's like to expand it into everything. That really, that touched me. It really made a profound impact. So thank you very much. It was cool. Breathe into it. Okay. Thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. We're in wedding season now, so I'm giving the brides their advice. Like if they get stressed, the first thing to do is to breathe out. And that applies for everybody. If you're feeling stressed, the first thing you want to do is breathe out, because that takes care of itself. So if you remember to breathe out, then at least it starts the cycle going again. And then of course you can, there's other things you can do too, but that's a great way to start. Carly, you got the offertory for us.
I do, and I'm prepared. Yay. New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way that you share. We don't have a basket today, but there's a donate button on the website to make a donation by credit card, by PayPal, by Venmo, Cash App, Zelle. You name it. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. The offering affirmation is on the screen, and we'll say the affirmation together.
I
live
in an abundant universe.
I
am one
with
the
the
source of
all good.
I'm
I
a
am the center
of conscious prosperity.
I enjoy
Enjoy the richness of life.
I bless my
I
gift.
bless
I
my
share
gift.
I share my
Share my
gift
gift.
and joy.
Gratitude and joy.
know that as I
Know
give,
as I
I do
give, I
receive.
do receive.
so it is.
And so it is.
So it is. Ami, one more.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, all dreams really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream to, oh why can't but I see trees are green, I see red roses too. I'll watch them bloom for me and you, and I'll think to myself, what a wonderful world. But I see skies of blue, I see clouds of white, well, the brightness of day, and I like the night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And the colors of the rainbow so pretty in the sky, and also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Oh, where trouble melts like a lemon drops high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. And the dreams that you dare to, oh why can't I
Thank you again, Ame. I love that arrangement. I love that arrangement. So let us all unmute, and before we pray out, let's wish Christine Joy a happy birthday. I think you want to
Happy
outro.
birthday, Christine
Happy,
Joy.
happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Thank you all so much.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
You are beautiful. You are beautiful.
many
Okay, everybody.
more.
Any more to come?
Yeah.
Amen, amen.
Repeat
Beautiful
after.
celebration. Thank you, man. The music is amazing. Everyone, you guys are so awesome. Everyone.
Go ahead and virtually join hands as we form a non-circle and repeat after me. I am love.
I am love.
I am light.
I am
light.
I let the light shine.
Let
the light shine.
I let the love flow.
And I
love
let the love flow.
I blow out the candles.
blow out the
Blow the
And it's a happy day.
It's a happy
day.
So it is.
And
So
so
it
it
is.
is.
Oh, it is.
happy joy. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Ami. Have a great
Thanks,
afternoon.
Ami.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ami.
Bye. Have fun with
Thank
your
you,
little
Ami.
So awesome.